Good evening / morning. Welcome to Masterchat, the show that exposes Masterchef to the cold, hard realities of chat. And on this, the first ever edition of Masterchat, I am joined by comedian, author, and Masterchef loon, Daniel Hall.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Dan, it's so lovely to have you
That
here.
description was about 1/3 correct. Comedian, author.
Which bit?
You know what? I'll leave that as an element of mystery.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you for having me by the roaring fire.
Dan Hall is either a comedian, an author, or a Masterchef loon. And by loon, I don't mean you are a species of duck, I mean you are insane. When it comes to Masterchef...
As opposed to being a duck when it comes to Masterchef.
Yeah, you are not
Which
a
would
duck
mean
when it comes to Masterchef.
Because I would probably be killed and cooked.
Exactly. Imagine the guy who was employed to kill all the animals that appear on Masterchef.
And that's one guy, one sad guy.
Yeah.
Matt,
Covered
isn't
in
it?
blood.
Isn't that what Matt does?
Matt.
Yeah,
I think he does.
Matt Preston. Yeah,
Matt
he's
Preston.
a powerful
I
man.
don't know, not Matt Moran. Because he, for a season, he was a judge in his own right, and then he
Well, doesn't he own a farm?
wasn't.
So he probably has killed an animal or two in his time.
Oh, God. Just imagine. Viewer, you can imagine this too.
Matt Moran,
Matt Moran
murderer.
slaughtering a pig, a cow, a chicken, a duck,
Yep.
a rabbit, a pheasant.
Yes. Simultaneously.
Don't get in his way.
He's got an 8-bladed axe.
You know, he's just swinging so hard, and the red mist is in front of his eyes, both figuratively and literally, because there is a red mist rising off the corpses. Animals he's slaughtering.
Yes.
What if you get within his killing range?
Then you do not progress to finals week.
No.
No. Or indeed the rest of life.
Is that a challenge in the week before finals week?
Yes.
Maybe this year. This year is pushing the boundaries.
Yes. Pushing the boundaries even further than they have
further.
thus far.
Or pulling them in.
Pulling them in. So far, this year they're pushing boundaries by pulling boundaries in.
Yeah, because the boundaries were too far away.
Yes, they had observed where the boundaries had wound up
And they're
through
like, oh, we can't reach it.
centuries of social evolution and thought, no, this is chaos.
Centuries.
Chaos.
So we're not
Centuries.
just talking about Masterchef boundaries here.
No, we're talking about social boundaries.
Boundaries that have been pushed in the past, Masterchef single-handedly pulling them back in.
Pulling them back in. Primarily to do with gender. I think that's fair to say. Masterchef have looked at like gender politics, the roles of men and women in society, and thought that is bullcrap.
Yeah.
This is higgledy-piggledy.
We need a revolution.
Yes, a de-revolution
A
in a sense.
devolution.
A devolution. Let's get everybody hating each other. Let's make
Yeah.
it two distinct teams. Men are good at certain things, women are good at certain things, and the Venn diagram of those things is two individual circles on separate pieces of paper in different rooms.
Of course, we've had 1 week of Masterchef. It's easy to judge something on first impressions.
Yes, and we have.
So we're doing.
And will continue to.
What we found is that if women are good at things,
Yes.
and men are good at things,
Yes.
and cooking is a thing,
Yes.
men aren't that good at it.
Only one of them can be good at the thing.
in
That's the
Masterchef.
thing. Name a thing, and either men or women can be good at it.
Yeah, so like
That is the belief from which MasterChef is progressing.
riding bikes.
Men.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought because things get in the way and...
No, well, those ladies, they have to have special bikes where the thing is lowered. So already, if you have to give somebody a handicap, they're clearly not as good at the thing.
Let me blow your mind.
See also golf. Okay.
Think about this. Maybe it's the men's bikes that are special.
You honestly just blew my mind.
Think about that.
I have to unlearn everything I've learned now, not just bike related.
Yeah.
You pulled one brick from the wall of my self-belief.
Because that applies to everything.
Okay.
Like baldness.
Men are
What
better.
if we're-
Men are better at baldness.
What if we're weird for having hair?
Holy crap.
See, maybe,
All right.
maybe you won't be as quick to call
Okay,
people
well-
freaks as you were in the past.
That's like every day.
But what we found, I guess, let's not extrapolate too far. What we found is
Yes.
that some men are not good at cooking. And those men's names are Kelty and Nicky.
Yet inexplicably, they've wound up on MasterChef.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when I say those men's names are Kelty and Nicky,
Kelty and Nicky.
Kelty isn't really a name.
Yes, those
So I'm
men's
using that.
names are Kelty and Nicky.
Kelty is a word that is apparently used to describe
Yes.
what appears to be, in some superficial respects, a man.
You may have thought cartoon dog who solves crimes. No.
No.
Kelty is
And
a
you may have
contestant.
thought that even after watching him on Masterchef.
Yes. He's not going to solve any crimes.
No, he is not. He's not even going to solve the crime.
Cartoon dog who falls victim to crimes.
He might solve the crime of who poisoned the Masterchef judges.
It was
Because
himself,
him.
yes.
You know, it was that great, Curtin, Poirot's last case thing where the killer
Yes.
is a detective. Well,
Yes.
spoiler alert, in Poirot's last case, Poirot is the murderer.
Thanks. Jesus.
Whoa!
This is like that person who spoiled how that new Gatsby movie ends.
Yeah, you've had time to read Poirot's last case.
Yes.
Okay.
More time than he had.
He had a long time. He was very old. That's
Yes.
why he did it.
Well. Kelty.
Kelty
made food.
made food. Now, we're talking about a second night here.
Yes.
We're time shifting a little.
Okay, yeah.
We're talking about the protein challenge.
The protein challenge.
They could have called the protein challenge a meat challenge. They decided-
Somebody had eggs. I'm sure somebody had eggs.
Did they have eggs?
Yes. But we didn't spend any time with that
That's
person.
a protein.
They didn't, of sorts.
Yeah. They didn't have like prions.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay. That's a mad cow disease joke.
Oh, I see.
Never mind.
They could have used tofu and didn't.
Could they? It's tofu. I don't know what tofu. I mean, I know.
I
what
eat a lot of
is,
tofu.
but I don't know what it is. If you know what I mean.
I eat a lot of tofu. It's relatively high in protein. It is used as a protein
Yeah.
in meals that don't have meat in them.
Yeah, I distrust anything that's used as a replacement for meat.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I distrust meat, so.
Well, we're in an impasse.
Yes. We are like MC Scat Cat and Paula Abdul.
We'd better get that. Yeah. That's why we go together.
And so on.
We'll
So,
get
protein
back to
challenge.
protein.
For context, each girl got to pick a protein. Girl was assigned a boy. Boy had to cook with the same protein.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kelty had to cook with offal,
Yes.
which Nolene found good.
She
seemed to
took
enjoy
great
cooking.
delight in cooking with offal.
The feeling she's had a lot of organs on her bench before. And what I mean by that,
Let's proceed.
I don't want to make it sound disgusting. What I
You
mean,
did though.
What I mean by that is that Nolene enjoys murdering people and taking out their internal organs.
Yes.
But she cooked well. She cooked liver and testicles and brains and...
Yes, and she was assigned chicken. She brought all that stuff from home.
Yes. Here's the thing. They referred to sweetbreads.
Which were not breads.
We're talking about animal balls.
Oh my god, is that what that means?
Yes.
That is awful.
I mean, it means glands. And
Right.
That's one of the things. But she made lamb's fry, which is... If you've
She
ever
cooked-
seen Chevy Chase's Funny Farm, you know what lamb's fry is.
It's balls?
Yeah.
It's balls.
So she made a lot of that. Kelty was not so comfortable with the offal,
No.
and he cooked it in a terrible manner.
He made bad.
Yes.
Yes. He made a thing which was bad and served it to the judges
And they identified it as bad
as
very
bad
quickly.
because it nearly killed them.
Had it gone off or something? Was rancid?
It kind of begins off, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's
It's
an
awful.
Offal. Or was it Nikki who made something that was rancid? Something that had
Curdled.
curdled.
Yes.
Nikki also made them very sick.
Oh, it was a highlight episode if you're way into nearly killing people.
And the thing about Nikki is, he's been in the army.
Yes.
And on the first night, he decided that his experience as
An army.
a lowly ranked army
Yes.
who had taken orders from people for a few years
Yes.
qualified him to give orders to people. But he didn't realise that giving orders to people is not the whole job for a team leader.
Saying things is not the same as doing things.
Yeah, he could have pitched in a little bit. He
Could have
didn't
cooked.
even beat an egg or anything.
For someone on a cooking show, cooking
Yeah.
would be my first piece of advice.
Yeah. And
I'm no expert.
he was dealing with grown men.
Yes,
They did
who
not-
hate him.
Yes, they didn't necessarily need someone shouting at them the whole time.
No.
He could have helped someone out. But he didn't. He didn't cook it all the first night.
Bold move though.
Bold.
He's thinking outside the square.
He's thinking outside the square. He's thinking inside some sort of molten rhombus.
Yes.
First night he didn't cook at all.
No.
Second night he cooked appallingly and nearly assassinated the judges.
Yes.
We began to wonder, Can Nikki cook? Has Nikki ever cooked?
Is Nikki aware of what cooking is and what food is?
Has he encountered food before?
Yes.
Or has he been fed his whole life through a tube?
That's what they do in the army, though.
Yeah, they do.
Yes. It's like every night you go back to the barracks and it's like in the Matrix. You're in a little pod, they plug you in.
Yeah, and then when the enemy comes, the pod's sort of in a catapult, they flip you out of the pod and hurl you at the enemy.
Yes, exactly.
He got out just in time. You know,
because that is like budget cuts.
Before they put that centipede inside him. That happens in the Matrix, doesn't it?
Sure.
Someone puts a centipede inside Keanu Reeves.
It's Hugo Weaving, and it's not a centipede.
But it's close enough to a centipede that you
yes,
knew
somebody
what I was talking about.
Somebody puts Hugo Weaving into Keanu Reeves.
It's Hugo Weaving and it's not a centipede is the title of Hugo Weaving's autobiography.
Yes.
Ghost written by you. Aha, you're an author. We've discovered
yes,
those
and a ghost.
Dan is. Now,
Nikki, who cooked poorly and made George invent a dance with how awful his food was.
Yeah, the sort of...
The little ducky head.
The
yes.
The hairball dance, the cat.
Yeah. Yes, that was George.
That was George. He's lost weight. Did we mention that?
He has lost weight. It seemed like he was dressing like he had lost even more weight than he had. That little kind of pinched jacket, which is a look that the fashion mavens are calling the Ricky Gervais.
He's so you're saying he's bursting out of his clothes?
A little.
Style.
Yes, exactly. George the Incredible Hulk.
Not deliberately, not in, he doesn't run into the kitchen and say, ladies!
He should, though.
They all should.
While we're in a
battle of the sexes if they're not all getting nude?
Exactly. And we're trying to push boundaries, pull boundaries. There's just boundaries that need to be interfered with, molested.
Actually, this is an important point. We've got the battle of the sexes. Which contestants, after 1 week, and it's easy to judge on first impressions, which is why we do it, after 1 week,
yes,
which of the MasterChef contestants in 2013 do you think should be nude?
This feels like a trick question.
It is.
Because I don't want to objectify anybody.
Well, but I want you to objectify some people.
Okay, can I say the contestants I like the least because they're more likely to get burned by oil in sensitive areas?
I guess.
That's what I'm saying. That's my answer.
Right.
So, Michael.
Oh, I see. You want the ones you hate to get.
Yes, if you're asking who I want to be nude, I want Michael to be nude.
Okay. Can Michael ever be described as nude given the hair?
That's a very fair point.
He's covered in a fine down.
So you're saying that only people who are incapable of growing hair or are fully shaven can ever be truly nude?
No, I'm saying there's a happy medium.
Right.
I'm saying most people have hair on their bodies to some extent.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
But there's a point at which your hair ceases just becoming hair and it does become fur.
Right.
It becomes a coat.
Okay. You're saying he's part Sasquatch?
I wouldn't even say part necessarily.
Oh, he's a yeti.
He's a small yeti.
I stand by my answer though.
You do, admittedly, let's be honest, we do want to see Michael get scalded.
Yes.
Now...
Scalded?
Scalded. Scalded.
Yes. Badly burned in sensitive areas
I think we
by
have
oil.
to admit. Now, we can pretend we're politically correct, but let's admit that Linton, the sensitive stockman who quit his job to look after his disabled sister...
Australian hero, Linton.
With the hat...
Yes.
I think we can admit that Linton is the most beautiful person to ever be on Australian TV. If he was nude...
Yes.
Ratings would double. Like that.
Yes, 40 people would watch Masterchef.
Oh, God!
Yes.
You're a master bitch.
Oh, what?
I mean that, in a good way.
Yeah, I assumed you did.
I'm not just saying I hate you.
You do, though. We established that earlier before we were recording.
I really like you, Dan.
Oh, bless.
If you were on MasterChef, you would be almost as good as Linton.
I was about to say, if I was on MasterChef, you would vote for me, before remembering that that's not how MasterChef works.
If we were both on MasterChef and I was a judge, I would vote for you.
Yes. That sounds like a terrible show.
It does sound like it. I feel like I would, if I'm ever on MasterChef though, I hope it's as a judge and not as a contestant, because I'm better at saying food is good or bad.
I hope
than
it's
at making food.
I hope it's as a protein. if I'm ever on Masterchef.
Are you saying you would like me to stumble into the
Post the Matt Moran challenge.
The wild arc of Matt Moran's
Yes.
swinging axe?
Yes.
Matt Moran being behind the scenes slaughtering all
If I just think about, well, both of us, our strengths and our weaknesses, and how we can best be of use to
Yeah.
Masterchef,
Yeah.
outside of being total bitches about it,
Yeah.
it's probably as a protein.
As a protein?
Yes.
You mean as a meat or as tofu?
I think I would be tofu,
So
because there's not a lot of meat here.
I think we could definitely enhance your brand by making that your slogan.
Yes.
Dan Hall is your meat substitute.
Ladies.
Ladies.
That is awful.
Speaking of ladies, obviously
Yes.
we would also like to see Jules nude.
Would we?
Well, I would.
Okay.
But maybe I like her moxie.
She's got spunk.
She's got spunk.
Yes.
We mean that respectfully.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Sure.
I respect her.
I'm trying very hard to remember which one she is.
Jules she was the team leader on the first night.
Oh, yes.
She's very capable.
Yeah, she's cool. I like Jules.
She's very capable, and she has a nice...
I've got no beef with Jules.
She has a nice sort of tan.
Yes.
Also, Faisa.
Yes.
Remember the first night? Faisa was apparently the secret weapon because she knew how Coles was laid out.
And had a knife strapped to her hip.
It's not that secret. It's just a knife. But I found it interesting that these people found Coles such a baffling labyrinth.
Yes, exactly.
That it's like,
yeah.
we have it's like the
We need somebody with an
Indiana
in.
Jones in The Last Crusade. She knows how it works.
Yes.
You know.
There were secret codes that like you would move around items in a certain order and the shelves would flip around.
Yeah.
And the fresher produce would be there.
She knows how to evade the breath of God in the Mexican aisle. It's like, duck Jules, like that. So, whoa, getting physical.
You're right.
I didn't know Masterchat would be such a physically draining show.
Are you okay?
But
Did you take a breath?
I'm okay.
Okay.
But I slid down and my shirt sort of rode up my back and
Oh, right.
it was awkward. I felt
Yes.
a bit naked for a second. Ladies. So
Yes, she was their secret weapon.
yes, leaving aside the objectification of extremely attractive people like Linton and Jules and Facer.
I can never do that completely, but leaving it aside as much as I can.
I
Go
don't
on.
mean abandoning it.
Yeah.
Like it's still there. It's just to the side.
Yeah, cool. All right.
The important thing for any series of MasterChef
Yes.
or any reality show is to determine as early as possible who do we love and who do we hate.
The latter
Mostly, who
is
do we
more.
hate?
Who do we hate? That is more important.
Obviously.
And you get into, I almost feel bad hating people on the show because I don't know how much is them being truly, thoroughly, genuinely bad people, and how much is the editors and producers and whoever is in charge of what we see deciding this person will be a villain.
Yeah. All the drugs that they inject into their heads while they sleep.
Yes, exactly.
So, but let's be honest, we have to hate them or the show doesn't work.
Exactly, that's the point.
And I'm sure they would rather...
We are being presented with people to hate.
And I'm sure they would rather we hate them than we just don't watch.
True. And you don't want a bunch of people that you feel just fine towards.
Yeah.
Because that's how you wind up with the professionals.
Yes, exactly. You don't want to spend the whole thing going, oh, he's all right.
He's fine, all
I
right.
don't want to judge him too harshly. You've got to judge him harshly.
I suppose he seems fine.
That's the point. So who are you judging harshly?
Michael.
Michael. Is it because of the beard?
It's because he is awful.
He is awful.
He's just terrible. In the things he says and does and is.
But he won. He was the best in the elimination challenge with his steak. Which is a tricky thing, steak. There's a reason why hardly anyone ever eats steak, because it's hard to get right.
Yeah, I never eat steak.
Yeah. Is tofu hard to get right?
No, God no.
Does tofu ever look like steak? Do you paint it to look like a steak?
No. But then Michael's steak nearly didn't look like steak. He had to be reminded to use oil and like salt to season it.
Again, we return to the possibility that there are contestants on the show who have never cooked.
Yes, he didn't seem to understand how it worked. He put it on the pan, poked it, and then stood back like that.
Yeah.
And then people were shouting at him from the balcony, maybe put some oil on that.
Yeah, and to be fair, I hate it when people shout from the balcony.
I love it when they're shouting at Michael.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, yes.
Yes, but that's the point. Michael is so awful we actually get on the side of the balcony
Of the shouters,
which
yes.
we wouldn't have been otherwise.
Normally we sympathise with the shouties.
But yeah, you're right. Michael seems to have sort of, he's reached the point where he understands that you should apply heat to food. He
Yes.
has gone no further.
Yes, so he's roughly equivalent with cavemen,
Yes.
with our primitive ancestors.
Yes, and I guess that's the whole point, because he wants us to think of him as a caveman, because he keeps talking like a moron.
Yes, but in his words, he is an 8 or 9 when it comes to cooking. I assume he means out of 10?
And we assume it means like skill, not
Enthusiasm?
not the scale of like Dudley Moore in 10.
Yes, let's assume he means...
He doesn't mean he's sexy. Does he think, oh, I bet he thinks he's sexy. If you got a beard like that...
But no mustache. Isn't he doing the Lincoln? As in beard and no mustache? Or am I misremembering that?
It's kind of like that, but it's hairier on the cheeks. It's
course it is.
it is a very Civil War kind of, you know, mutton chops.
I'm about to a George duck vomit.
Yeah, Ambrose Burnside kind
Yeah.
of deal.
But that's the thing, maybe the editors just cut out all the bits where
When he
he's
shaves.
or is nice to people or...
What if he's clean shaven and they are
clean-shaven.
CGIing in the beard in every shot?
Oh, they would. They would and do. I'm convinced that is
What
what's
if
happening.
something like stuffs up in the rendering one week and no one notices, and one week we're like, oh, Michael's clean shaven, and then it like cuts to Emma and she has Michael's beard. Oh,
Or like
we suddenly see behind the curtain.
Nikki's serving Michael's beard to Gary. They forgot to CG in like the awful...
That would be okay, because
Yes.
since Nikki was serving it,
It would be a step up. It would
Gary
be his
would-
best dish so
Gary
far.
would hate it, and
Yes.
it would still... See, the reactions to Nikki's food, I think, are going to be fairly consistent with the reactions to being served a cooked beard
Yes.
throughout the series. But he's still there. I hope Nikki gets to the end, because...
Really?
No, not really.
No, you don't.
No.
No.
I want Linton to get to the end,
Oh, yeah. I want Linton to be the
And-
Prime Minister.
and maybe Pfizer, and then they can get married.
Sure. And run the country together.
Yeah, God, they're nice. So we hate Michael.
Yes.
I personally hate Christina,
Sure.
but that might just be misogyny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. To be fair, the show is encouraging that. It wants you to pick a side.
Yes. I can't pick the men's side though because of Michael.
Yes.
But at the same time, I wish Christina would stop telling men how awful they are just for a bit.
All right. Here is my rebuttal. Men,
Yes.
pretty awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Linton, oh my God.
He transcends gender.
Like,
There's men, there's women, there's Linton.
up to this stage, I've assumed that I'm incapable of pregnancy. But watching Linton, I'm thinking, if there's a man who can get me pregnant, that's him.
Sure.
And on that note...
That note? Sure, okay.
On the note
Of all the notes.
On that note, where we consider a handsome stockman filling me with his seed.
Australian icon.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we'll leave you with the image of Linton fertilising me. And
We're so sorry.
we will say goodbye to you for this episode of Masterchat. Thank you, Dan,
No worries, thank you.
for offering your wisdom and your
Such as it is.
chefly insights.
Tofu is sometimes okay.
Masterchat will return next week and every week during the run of Masterchef 2013 to discuss
Ambitious.
food, cooking, judging, personality disorders,
Michael.
and gender roles. It's goodbye from me, Ben Pobjie. It's goodbye from Dan Hall.
Bye.
And it's goodbye from the Masterchef army. See ya.